Okay, picture this. You're at the very end of the interview, you've nailed every single answer, you've built this amazing rapport with the hiring manager, and then they lean in and say, "So, do you have any questions for me?" This right here is the moment the tables are turned. And believe me, it is your final test.
Everything you've worked for, all the prep, all the great answers, it can all be completely undone in a single sentence. A question that seems totally innocent to you can completely change how they see you as a candidate. Poof. All right, let's really dive into this. This part of the interview is not just a formality, okay? It's not just your chance to fill the silence. It's a critical evaluation. They're trying to figure out your priorities, test your listening skills, and see if you're genuinely interested in this role.
So, how do you avoid stepping on these landmines? In this explainer, we are going to break down the 5 most common question pitfalls that can absolutely sink your chances. And then we'll wrap up with a clear strategy to turn your questions into your biggest advantage. The goal here is, yes, to show you're engaged. But just as importantly, this is your chance to interview them. The goal isn't just to impress the manager. It's to gather the real information you need to decide if this job is actually the right fit for you. Asking some canned question you found online is a total waste of everyone's time. Let's kick things off with a really common one, especially in today's work environment. This question seems harmless enough, but boy, it can send the wrong signal right out of the gate. Asking this up front can be a huge red flag for a lot of hiring managers. Now, it's not that flexibility is a bad thing to want, of course not, but it is all about the timing and the phrasing. So here's the deal. Before you even have an offer, this question can make it sound like your main focus is on the perks, not on the work itself. From their perspective, it sounds like you're already trying to figure out how to be out of the office instead of how you can contribute in it. All right, let's talk about money. Of course it's important, we all know that. But how you approach the conversation can make you sound either professional and strategic or kind of demanding and premature. Oof, this one is a classic mistake. You haven't even started the job yet, and you're already asking about your next pay bump. It signals that you might be more focused on your own timeline than you are on, proving your value first. So, how do you fix this? The smart move is to pivot. Shift the focus away from a specific outcome, the raise, and onto the process. Instead of asking, when do I get more money, you ask about how performance is measured and rewarded. This shows you're focused on performance, on growth, and on understanding the system. That's exactly what a great employer wants to see. This next trap is very similar to the last one. It comes from a good place. Ambition is great, but it's so often phrased in a way that just sounds like entitlement. Again, this is just way too blunt. It completely skips over the most important part, the work you actually need to do to earn that promotion. It puts the cart way before the horse. The solution here is all about framing. Instead of asking for a promotion, you ask about career progression. See that simple change? It completely transforms the question. You're no longer asking, what will you give me? But rather, what do I need to achieve to grow here? It's an absolute game changer. Now, asking these smart questions is absolutely crucial, but it's only half the battle. You have to actually get the interview first. And for so many people, there's this huge invisible wall that stops them before they even get a chance. The resume screening software. 75%. That's the number. 3/4 of resumes are rejected by automated systems, we call them applicant tracking systems or ATS, before a human being ever even lays eyes on them. Your formatting, your keywords, it could all be getting you filtered out without you even knowing it. This is a problem I see all the time with my clients, and it's why I'm so excited to tell you about our sponsor, MobileCV.ai. It's an AI-powered tool designed specifically to solve this exact problem. It takes your info and builds a perfectly formatted, ATS-optimized CV in about 60 seconds using these professional LaTeX templates, the kind that sail past the bots and actually impress recruiters. And the best part? There is no subscription. You get 3 free credits just to try it out and see the difference it makes for yourself. Okay, let's get back into the interview room. We need to cover the last 2 major mistakes that can instantly disqualify you, no matter how well the rest of the interview went. First up is the listening mistake. If the interviewer already told you about the team structure, and then at the end you ask about the team structure, it just shows you weren't paying attention. It's an immediate red flag. Second is bluntness, especially when you're talking about sensitive topics like salary. See the difference there? The first question sounds like a demand. The second one is a professional inquiry. It's a really subtle shift in language, but it frames the conversation collaboratively. You're turning a demand into a polite question about their process.
And here's a huge pro tip for you. You should absolutely know the salary range early on. The best time to ask is during that initial phone screen with the recruiter. It respects your time and it respects their time. If the numbers just don't line up, it's so much better for everyone to know that before you go through 3 more rounds of interviews.
So, we've spent a lot of time talking about what not to do. Let's finish up by focusing on the principles of a winning strategy. How can you make sure your questions leave a lasting, positive impression? So, what does a winning question actually look like? Well, first, it's genuine, something you really want to know. It also proves you've done your homework. So, for example, instead of a generic question like, what's the company culture like? You could say something like, I read in your latest press release that you're expanding into a new market. What are some of the biggest challenges the team is facing with that rollout? You see that? It shows you've done your research, you're thinking about their problems, and you're already positioning yourself as part of the solution. Ultimately, your questions are your final opportunity to prove that you are the thoughtful, strategic, and engaged candidate they've been searching for. So think about that role you really want. After listening to this, what's the one smart question you're going to prepare that will help you seal the deal?